Refuel, rest, and take refreshments with the Services Podcast, your service station companion. This week, the team are at Woodall.
Welcome to the Services Podcast. Myself, Watko, and Tiny Rob have made the journey to Woodall services on the M1. We're in the northbound side of the service area, and we just had a bit of food. And it's situated, if you're interested, if you want to try it out, between junction 30 and 31 of the M1. And this is an unusual podcast because we have travelled to the service station together as one.
We jumped into my little car. I filled up a tank of petrol. And how long did it take us? 15, 20 minutes?
It probably took us between 15 and 20 minutes. It's not that far away from where I live, actually.
It wasn't too bad. And also we had an amazing mixtape, which you'd put together before I even arrived.
Before you arrived at my flat, I thought I'm going to put together a few tunes to get us in the mood before we arrive, sort of like the service station soundtrack. And what do you think?
How far in did we get? We got about 8 tracks in. They were all good. I can't really remember any of them other than Cher and Jesse James, which is one of my favourites though. What else was there? What are they called? Lloyd and Daniels. Hall and Oates. I don't know where Lloyd and Daniels came from.
Lloyd and Daniels?
That sounds like a banking firm.
Have you got the CD of Lloyd and Daniels?
I don't know who Lloyd and Daniels are.
If they do not exist, they should exist from now on. I've been listening to the music of Lloyd and Daniels. Yeah, Hall and Oates was on there. Obviously not the best mixtape because you can't remember what was on it. So.
There was also one absolute shocker. Can we play a burst of that shocker now?
Okay, here's a little burst of that shocker. Not too much though, because of...
Because it's shocking.
There you go, a bit
appalling.
Of Michael McDonald, Sweet Freedom.
It was awful.
That is a classic track. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is West Coast rock at its best. You know that guy used to be in the Doobie Brothers. How dare you? How dare you?
He was a Doobie Brother.
He was one of the Doobies. He was on the keyboards.
I expect better of him then. He's gone down. Was this pre or post Doobie Brothers?
This is post Doobie Brothers.
Post Doobie Brothers.
This is when he went, solo, doing his thing.
Well, he should have stayed in those bloody Doobie Brothers because that was atrocious.
Now, we've taken a bit of advice. People who've listened to the podcast so far, this is episode number 3 from the roadside, from the motorway side, and they said, hey, you need a little bit of structure in your show. It's all over the place. And we went away and we thought about it, and yes, we do. So what we've done is we've written a little running order, which is very exciting.
It's like a menu. Which
I have here. Next to the Energizer batteries that I bought that cost me at Woodall Services, get this, £4.99, which is the most expensive AA batteries I've ever bought in my life, I think.
What's the going rate for a battery? This is the thing. It's one of those things where you buy it and you're just like, I would pay anything for a battery. I have no idea. I have no sort of relative idea of how much they should cost.
I would say that they should be in between the £3 and £4 mark, and as soon as they're over the £4 mark, if it's more than £1 for a battery that you're doing, you're being violated. I think that's the word that I'm going to use. Yeah.
So as we do this podcast, you've been violated.
Well, I was violated before we started.
Right, exactly.
Which I'm on the ropes.
So if you say anything odd or anything like that, we should put a disclaimer out there because this isn't really. Yeah, exactly. This isn't Ian Watkins on his A game.
My wallet has been severely attacked by the service. This is the thing we've always said. It's the only game in town. If you need batteries, you're on the M1. You're going to stop off, and they can pretty much put any price they want on them. If you need those batteries, you have to buy them. They could be £20 for 4 AA batteries.
They're friendly folk, the service station people, but they'll happily bleed you dry while you're here.
It's the magic of it. Having said that, our food was the same price it would be in any of these fast food establishments anywhere. Am I right?
Do you know why that is?
Why is that?
It's because they've got the good man Colonel Sanders on board, who famously believes in food equality wherever you choose to eat his fine and tasty products.
And his friend Ronald McDonald is also here as well.
They're ambassadors.
They're in union together. And normally you would find them on the high street battling for the tongue and stomach of the British folk, but actually here they are one and together, doing their thing. Ronald hand in hand with the Colonel.
they're fighting the tyranny of the service station people who would imagine, right, £1.10 for a battery. I would have paid probably £35 for this medium-sized meal.
If that was the way that the service stations work with their money sort of ordering system, then yes, you're right.
Yeah.
I would love to see an advert where Ronald McDonald and Colonel Sanders got together for just one time only, just for a bit of a laugh.
A bit like Brokeback Mountain.
Nothing like that at all.
Where they retreat to Woodall services, book themselves into the motel.
Nothing like that. I was thinking, like an advert where you get, I don't know, a couple of people from different American networks who did the big chat shows like Jay Leno and the other fella who does the Late Show, David Letterman, and they do an advert together, and people go, wow, they hate each other, but they've done an advert together. And if you saw Colonel Sanders and Ronald McDonald, having said that, I've not seen Ronald McDonald for a while. What's happened to him?
I don't know. I think he went the same way as the Hamburglar, and he's just been ditched.
He's in the same retirement home as the Hamburglar.
That poor Hamburglar.
I used to love the Hamburglar. Anyways,
was he the one? And he obviously
look, we've got a list here.
Hang on. Let's just establish what the Hamburglar was.
He was a man with legs, and his body was a hamburger.
No, I didn't think he was. I think he had the body of a cartoon criminal, so in like a stripy black and white, but the head of a giant burger.
His head was a burger, okay.
Which would not work in the world of crime.
Okay, well, let's get back to the game in hand. Thank you for that great Hamburglar chat. And it says here, first impressions. So what are your first impressions of Northbound Woodall?
My first impression was that the name reminds me of Jane Goodall, who famously spent her life videotaping chimpanzees in the jungle, and I'm a big fan of the monkey, so I was already
were you
smiling.
Expecting monkeys?
I wasn't expecting monkeys, although that would be brilliant if it was run by an army of monkeys.
Davy Jones, Mickey Dolenz, and the rest of the boys.
Yeah.
No, you're talking about hairy monkeys.
Well, no, I didn't make that.
That Mike Naismith was pretty hairy.
Yeah. I hadn't gone quite that far, but it just put a little smile on my face as I walked onto the premises. So early on, signs were good.
Great vibes.
Yes, exactly. And then I walked in, and I like it. It's small, it's compact. It's a world away from Leicester Forest East, which we went to last time.
Yesterday, you make it sound like we recorded that yesterday, and this is one that we've just rolled out. No, that was 2 weeks ago. Would you like to know what my first impressions are?
I was just getting around to that, but
you've got a bit of windy pods. Would you like me to come around there and pat you on the back?
Definitely not. How do you think?
Well, we got here, we parked very close to the entrance so that we could go and take a walk onto the motorway to take some pictures, which you will find on our Facebook site. And obviously our life expectancy went down when we were sort of hanging about on the side of the motorway, because anything can happen. And I enjoyed that. We took some pictures, and we sort of walked down. There's a service road that you can actually get to Woodall from not the M1 motorway. And I think you're only allowed to use that if you're an emergency vehicle or perhaps a staff member.
Yeah, because we saw a young-looking man in a small Citroen Saxo. So
I think he works here, if I'm honest.
Or he could have been an undercover policeman.
I was reading that if you use those cheeky service roads, which are at some other service stations as well, you could get 3 points on your licence and a £500 fine. So
£500.
We are not going to be using that on our way back. We are going up to the next junction and then back down the south way.
That's the whole service station podcast budget gone in one fell swoop, isn't it?
Exactly. It would be cut off after 3.
We would be £500 over the budget already.
Exactly. Right. So that was my first impression. I enjoyed that. We walked along. They've got a lovely picnic area here, and as we entered, we thought it's all in one room. It's compact, so you've obviously got sort of like the newsagents to the right. To the left of you, you've got a well-known coffee establishment where we thought about sitting, but unfortunately it would seem that Louis Armstrong has set up shop in there again, and he's playing his trombone. So his trumpet, he wasn't a trombone player. Why do I always say trombone? He was a trumpet player. And then in front of you, the two establishments that are fast food, and then there's also a welcome break cheeky bandit zone as well.
A cheeky bandit zone?
The cheeky bandit zone. That's
Mexicans on the run from the law.
That's not what it's officially called. I think it's called welcome break gamblers.
Gamblers, okay.
The gamblers. And I've also noticed as well, when I went to go and buy these very expensive batteries, which I'm going to keep on going on about, by the way, because I am seething.
Maybe you should put them. They're on the table at the moment, and you're just going to keep looking down and be reminded, and you're just going to get more and more angry. Maybe we should hide them, sweep them under the carpet. You don't photo them.
I've just taken a picture of them so you can see them.
Makes a memory last a lifetime.
So as I was going over there, I noticed that the the coffee establishment has actually got a patio section outdoors with umbrellas and stuff, so we can go and hang out there later on.
It'd be like we're having a barbecue.
Hot chocolate.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
You don't realise the service station is really a break from the road. It is like a little holiday. Oh, you might be here for, say, 10 minutes, maybe half an hour at the most, but it is like a little jolly holiday.
It's very relaxing as long as you don't have to buy any sort of battery. Then you will walk away a happy, contented man.
The Services Podcast with Ian Watkins and Rob Howard. From Watford Gap to Toddington, Strensham to Woodall, the only service station podcast you need.
What we now like to do is give you some trivia about the service station. By the way, this is one of the oldest service stations in existence in this country. Did you know that?
I didn't. That's a good... Right, so this is my thoughts on how we should do the trivia section, okay?
How should we do it?
I think we make it punchy, and I think we make it shocking.
Shocking?
Not outrageous shocking, but like hit 'em hard.
3 people were murdered here last week. No, they weren't. We
can't
do that. We can't make it shocking.
You can't make things
Not
up.
that shocking.
No.
It's got to be trivia. It's got to be history. Service station history.
Yeah, but not boring
Information.
history. Right, so this is the way I'm looking
Are
at
you
it.
saying that all of the things I've done so far in podcast 1 and podcast 2 were boring?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is, think back to your school days, and there were always a variety of teachers. There was always the stuffy old teacher who'd sit there and talk you through all the dates of the Spanish Armada, and you'd want to kill yourself. Or then there was the cool new wave teacher who was like, hey, everybody, stand up. Like in Dead Poet Society. We want Robin Williams.
Well, you know what happened in that, though?
Yeah, but with a happy ending.
Okay, which one do you see me as, then?
At the moment,
I'm more towards the former than the latter.
I think naturally you go towards the latter, to the Robin Williams character, minus the suicide. But I think, because we're new to this, I think you're still kind of emerging out of teacher training school, and you're not quite sure which way to go down.
I think everybody noticed that. Nobody expected the Services Podcast to come out as a finished product. This is in progress. This is like a newborn baby.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
what do you want me to do it then? In a more sort of like light-hearted way?
not necessarily light-hearted, but just that we want the cream facts.
Okay.
Not facts about cream, like literally the best ones. Are there any facts about cream?
Just looking through the paper here.
Is there a cream section?
I'm afraid I can't find any cream facts. So that's the end of this section.
Watko's Roadside History File.
The thing about Woodall is, looking at this, there's not really much to say. I mean, the people of the, you know, that website we look at, which is kind of like our Bible, which I always forget what it's called, services,
Oh, okay.
motorwayservices.org or something like that.
Yeah.
They say that that there is a difference between the facilities on each side. The 2 buildings are connected by a rather nasty bridge.
He uses the adjective nasty.
It says nasty.
Well, we'll be the judge of that.
It says it's quite a large service station and it's on the outskirts of Sheffield, which it is.
That is also true.
We'll pop over the other side. We will decide for ourselves whether that bridge is nasty, and then we will tell you the facts.
How can a bridge be nasty? What does it mean? Just like not like dirty and grubby.
Well, we've been on 2 bridges, haven't we? The first bridge is where we first met on our first ever podcast at Trail Services. I thought that was quite sort of futuristic in a way.
Yeah, it was like on Tron, and they have the viewing area. It was a bit like that, I thought.
Yeah, and Jeff Bridges was there too.
Yeah.
He wasn't there. And there was, and then obviously Leicester Forest East, the whole thing is on the bridge. You know, that's going to be difficult to beat. But we will decide on whether that bridge is nasty. Me and Tiny Rob alone. And then you can come and have a look and you can decide for yourself, but we will give you the ultimate we'll give you the steer.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, this particular service station used to be run, I think, by Trust House 40, but it was taken over. It's now run by the Welcome Break. I think it opened in 1968, so back in 2008, when they employed 211 people to work here. That's how many.
This is what I'm talking about. It's shocking. That is shocking. 211.
211 people to work
What did
here.
they all do? What did they have, like, people doing the most specific tasks possible?
In 2008, this service station was 40 years old.
Right.
That is pretty much all I've got. Apparently the service station is one of 14 with large murals that were commissioned by David Fisher in the 1990s, designed to reflect the local area and history. But I've not seen the large mural. What I can tell you is that this might be interesting to have a look at. Back in the day when the service station opened in 1968, by the way, there's an article online from the Sheffield Star about the 40 years of Woodall, if you want to go and read it all. So I haven't got time to read it all right now. But apparently...
See, you're learning. That's Robin Williams talking, that is.
But apparently, a cup of tea cost back then 1 shilling, so 5p for a cup of tea in 1968. So it might be interesting to find out how much a cup of tea would cost now. How
many shillings would a pack of AA batteries cost now?
The Services Podcast with Watko and Tiny Rob.
I have no idea. As I told you, math is not my strong point.
Right, we'll stick away from the arithmetic from now on.
Move away from that.
What is your strong point? And we'll gear it more towards that. Woodwork?
I haven't got any strong points. Have you noticed? I'm doing a podcast which is based in service stations. I'm probably one of the saddest men in history.
Do you know what I think your strong point is? Your honesty. I like it. Stick with that.
I don't know why you're scoffing. You're here too.
Playing second fiddle.
This is an interesting article, actually. The rust-stained concrete footbridge linking north and southbound services trembles as trucks and cars scream past in a relentless torrent of traffic along the nation's jugular.
Wow.
Also seen from the bridge across the golden stubble of October wheat fields.
Who wrote this? Very poetic.
Is Hart Hill Church, tall in the sunshine, a 900-year-old reminder of another England. The village of Hart Hill is mentioned in the Domesday Book in 1086. It has 13 freemen and 11 villagers. Today at Woodall Services, there are more than that in the queue for KFC.
Who is that? The article from the Sheffield Star?
Yeah, here's another bit. Lizzie, 19 years old, from Kilmarsh, brings a touch of glamour to the W.H. Smith shop counter.
That makes it sound like page 3 girl.
It's all right here, but I think I might like a change soon, says Lizzie. I wonder whether she's still working here. This is back in 2008. she'd be very depressed, I should think. Her full name, by the way, is Elizabeth Brown. Most of the people who come in are quite nice, but some are rude. I had a picture taken with Gareth Gates on my phone when he came in. He was lovely, but not all celebrities are charming.
Oh, did she go on to name anyone? Or
yes,
was that
she
just
does. We had that TV chef James Martin in here, said Eve Lee from Worksop, who runs the Burger King franchise in the southbound services. He ordered a Whopper meal, but he didn't seem very pleased. Must have been having a bad day.
It can't have been the Whopper.
This man, James Martin, is a connoisseur of food.
Yeah, no wonder he's disappointed
they're like,
by the
oh
Whopper.
my goodness, sir, this Whopper is not up to scratch. I thought it was an interesting little article.
That is interesting. I just like the way it was written. I think the man who wrote it was obviously a failed poet, so he was just trying to express himself through service station articles.
Anyway, it was mentioned there about famous people spotted, and we've had a phone call, one of our services podcast answer phone messages, from a gentleman who says that I think he spotted somebody. So here's that call now.
Watko, celebrity update. On live services, Ian Brody of the Lightning Seeds. I didn't see him, but I'm reliably informed by a young lady there that he was in about half an hour ago. He bought a bag of crisps. It's 12:20 on March the 13th. There you go. First celebrity spot by someone who works in a service station. All right, cheers.
The gentleman that phoned in there did not spot that celebrity, and therefore that is not the first celebrity spotted on the Services podcast by a listener or by us.
We're still waiting for that epic day when we see Shane Ritchie.
Shane Ritchie, that'd be brilliant.
In the gambling section.
Lionel Richie in the gambling section would be more exciting.
I think we'd both have a heart attack.
How long have you been here? All night long. Sorry, that's an awful joke. I apologise. Yeah, the guy that phoned in, Ian Brody from the Lightning Seeds.
And he saw him.
No, he didn't see him. He said somebody said that he'd been there 5 minutes before he arrived, and that's a tall tale from somebody working at a service station. I could go and walk up to somebody right now in KFC and go, "Have you just seen? Oh, Paul McCartney was here 5 minutes ago." All right, great. They could just make anything up.
Why did he? Do you think that the bloke who left that message specifically went and said, "Have you had any celebrities in here?" Or were they so excited by this bloke who I've never heard of, hearing that they were just telling everyone?
Well, this guy is phoning in a lot.
Yeah.
Here's another example of his amazing services answer phone messages.
Is it another celebrity?
I don't know. Take a listen.
when I'm driving down the M43 and I need to know where to go for a wee, I go to ask Watko. He tells me the place where I need to go. Services podcast. Yeah, I'm a rapper.
So that's a kind of a service station rap.
Yes. I'm not quite sure what to make of that. What else have we got to do? Is it time for Touch Me in the Morning?
It's called Touch Me in the Services, Rob. Which
Oh, of
sounds
course it is.
rude.
It does sound rude.
I've got the.
Do you know Touch Me in the Morning used to have a jingle, and it went Touch Me in the Morning. I think you should have to stand up and shout right now, Touch Me in the Services, at the top of your voice.
No, because then that would suggest that I'm looking for action, which I am not. I'm here to do a podcast.
What
this
if
is a serious thing. This is a serious matter. I don't want to be dragged out of here.
to be touched by a security man?
Well, no, because if I was dragged out of it, I would be outside the services.
Oh, technically.
Right, are you ready then for these? These are two things that I have seen that I thought that you would be interested in hearing about. One of them is...
Are we getting both of them?
You're going to get both of them.
Okay.
I think you should.
Touch me in the services.
I'll save the best one for last, but the first one is that this is a chocolate shocker.
A chocker?
A chocker? Exactly. You should write the headlines for this. You should go and work for the Daily Mirror. This is a story that I spotted this week. It's called Chocolate Shocker. Apparently, men eat more chocolate than women do.
I would have assumed that.
You would have assumed that.
Yeah.
Hang on, I always thought it was the women that ate the most chocolate.
Well, I thought it'd be about even, but men are bigger, so they'd eat a little bit more. Are women meant to be
I see your
famous
logic.
for...
Yeah, I see your logic there, but women are meant to be famous for liking a little bit of the chocolate. Anyway,
I must understand that.
Blokes get through. How many bars of chocolate a week do you have, would you say? At the moment, I'm not eating any, so I'm using you as the test case.
Okay. I think. All right. Let's work out the last 7 days. I think I had. What counts as a bar of chocolate? Because I had an egg, a chocolate egg.
That we'll count that as
Okay.
a bar of chocolate.
I had a chocolate egg yesterday.
That's one.
I've had a Terry's chocolate bar recently.
Hang on, wait a second. To start again.
I had a chocolate egg yesterday. I had a Terry's chocolate orange. I also... Oh no, hang on, this is going to go... That little machine you've got there is going to go into overdrive now. Because my mum bought me a 7-pack of dairy milk, so I've made my way through them. You're going to have to do 7. So that's 9 all in all. What's the average? Oh God, I'm going to...
Blokes get through 6 bars a week, while girls munch down 5, says a survey. But here's the thing. This is because I thought that the idea was that women ate more chocolate. And, you know, they were more the chocoholics than the men. But apparently women think about chocolate the most. An average of how many times a day? 3 times a day they think about chocolate. Whereas men don't think about it, they're just eating it.
They just mindlessly eat it and
Yeah.
leave their mind to think of just boobs and women.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Other
football.
stuff. Football and women and other stuff that men think about. I do a lot of worrying.
What do you worry about?
All kinds of stuff. More than half of 3,000 shoppers surveyed by this supermarket said chocolate is their fave food.
You can't just leave it at that.
Yes, I can.
You can't just go all kinds of stuff.
It's a mysterious. I want it to be
You
mysterious.
sound like a very troubled man.
I am troubled.
I worry if we ever do a service station near the coast,
Right.
that I'll look up and you'll just be walking into the sea.
I'll be fine. Yeah, if there's a service station near Beachy Head, you know that'll be the last one. Ian's just walking to the cliff. I'll be back in a minute.
What finished him off? Oh, it was £5.50 for AA batteries here. He just couldn't take it.
I'm sure I've spoken about this before to you, but I went to Beachy Head, not to throw myself off, obviously. And there at Beachy Head is a phone box and a sign that says, you know, Samaritans, life isn't that bad. Give them a ring.
Yeah.
Don't throw yourself off, sort of thing. It's not as graphic as that.
Yeah.
And then next to that is an ice cream van.
So
I don't know what order you do it in. Maybe they should have a sign up to say have your ice cream first, I'll cheer you up a little bit, phone up the Samaritans, or do you phone the Samaritans first, that cheers you up, you go, I'll have a 99, or I'll have a suck, I'll have a twister, or a screwball, or something like that.
Do people, though, treat it as like a last meal kind of thing, maybe?
Well, yeah, I'd have a sparkle.
Would you, before you left
off? A lemon
off?
sparkle.
A lemon sparkle.
A parting lemon sparkle. The last thing dancing on my my taste buds would be is lemon sparkle. I don't think they do lemon sparkles anymore. That would say, I can't believe I can't even have my last supper.
That'd be very fit.
My last sucker. Not even have my last sucker.
They do that there as well. Well, it'd be interesting that you've gone for the lemon sparkle.
What would you go for?
Obviously, it's a very bitter, it's a bitter ice lolly, and so that probably would be the final nail in the coffin.
If you were jumping off, what ice lolly would you have?
If I was jumping off, I would probably have. I think I would.
You'd be a feast man, wouldn't you?
I'd bottle it at the last minute. So I would have whatever was the fattiest lolly. So I would become a little bit fatter, therefore making me maybe a little bit more likely to survive the fall. Because I think I'd jump off and then halfway down.
He's a Calippo man, and he daren't say it. He daren't say it. Anyway, so there you go. Apparently, some spokesman from this supermarket that did the survey said chocolate remains a priority for sweet-toothed Brits, especially men.
Excellent.
That is the first Touch Me in the Services story. But here's the other one. Do you remember that?
How did we get from chocolate to beachy head?
I have no idea. That's the magic of this podcast.
Where are we going to go with this next one?
This is a story that you might have heard about. It's relating to Top Gear and about what they said about Mexicans.
Oh, right. From a while ago now?
From a while ago, but this is kind of like an update on that story. 12 Mexican students upset after TV's Top Gear hosts dubbed their compatriots lazy and feckless have hit back by doing what? They're hitting back.
And they're trying to prove that they're not
lazy and feckless.
Well, I can see this going one of two ways. Either they're going to run the marathon, or they're going to have done like a John and Yoko sponsored sleep. They
have decided, in fact, they are going to do, I believe, or are doing, a charity bike ride. They're going to really stick it to Jeremy Clarkson.
Do you think he'll really be like, oh, I was so wrong? Issue a public apology.
They hit the road over comments by Richard Hammond and Jeremy Clarkson, which sparked a complaint from their ambassador. The ambassador was really annoyed.
He was.
So much so that when he went to his party, he did not have any Ferrero Rocher for Jeremy Clarkson. He had none. It was none available for him. He was like going up, where is that's my Jeremy Clarkson impression, where is the Ferrero Rocher? I'm afraid the ambassador is not spoiling you tonight, sir. Anyways, yes, Hammond had called Mexicans lazy and feckless on the show. I don't know why I'm giggling. Enrique de la Forte Favela, an exchange student from Bath in
from
Somerset.
Bath?
Well, he's an exchange student. He's there at the moment.
Oh, I thought you meant he was on an exchange trip from Bath.
No, he's in Bath.
Very exotically named Bath inhabitant.
He says, we are not lazy, we cycled all day.
Point proven. Now, hand me my sombrero, I'm going to go and chill out under a palm tree.
It's time for my siesta.
And I don't care because I'm so feckless.
The 24-mile bike ride between Bath and Bristol raised a whopping £120. I'm not really sure what for.
Oh, God.
It's a bit of a waste of time, really, but they did get they got a column inch.
They did.
They got a column inch for
I'd say that was a whole 2-incher they got there.
Yeah, the thing about, I don't understand why that stereotype of Mexicans is as it is. It's hot there. People are always going to be a little slower in a hot country. You're not going to be rushing around.
I don't understand why they're annoyed about it.
Exactly, and also Speedy Gonzales, he was up and at him, wasn't he?
That's a very good point. Do you think Jeremy Clarkson considered that when he always Hammond before he made these?
Not watching enough Warner Brothers Looney Tunes cartoons. So there it is. Touch Me in the Services without any hands.
No.
You weren't, were you?
No, I wasn't. Although I could have done under the table.
Oh my goodness gracious. I think it's about time that we took a little walk.
Where are we going to go?
We're going to go. We're going to check out this bridge, aren't we? We're going to see whether it is indeed, what was it? The nasty bridge.
The nasty trembling bridge. Sounds like something of Harry Potter. The nasty trembling bridge. Let's go and check it out.
Contact the Services Podcast now by emailing theservicespodcast@gmail.com, adding us on Twitter @theservicespod, or by leaving us a message on our roadside answering machine on this number 0755 3521 558.
You're right, Watko. It's Aaron from the Croydon. Just at Sedgemoor service stations. I've just come back from going to the toilet. My girlfriend's just seen how happy I am. She's just run off now to use them as well. It's quite a small service station. WH Smith, Costa Coffee and a burger place. But I would say 80% of people, whilst I was in the toilet, washed their hands. And I think that's pretty high. So if possible, if anyone else can see, maybe be careful when you check. See if is Sedgemoor on the M5 the cleanest? Not the cleanest. The service station where most people wash their hands. See you later. Bye.
Hello, Watko. It's Katya. Just wishing you a lovely time in Woodall service area, and also to warn you that in approximately, I think, 3 weeks' time, I'll be in Belgium, and I'll do my own report of my favorite service station. And it's going to be nice, I hope. You know, I had a terrible day, learned that my favorite band has split up, and I'm really sad. So you better be good tonight. I mean, not with me, just doing your service podcast didn't mean anything. Anyway, I'm a little bit confused because of this splitting up. Right, I won't be confused when I'll do my report of my favorite service station, I hope. Anyway, I'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Hi, Watko, and hi, Tiny Rob. It's Dan here. That's my radio voice, but you're not on the radio. Are you just going to restrict yourself to podcasts about service stations or the wider service station industry? What about the 80s when the Happy Eaters chain was still around? You know, the roadside services, which had an adventure playground for kids just next to, well, the motorway. Probably not the best place, because you can imagine the kids going off the slide, taking a tumble, and straight into the 3 lanes. Yeah, that chain's not around anymore, is it? Maybe you're going to do the truckers' stations where big, strange men hang around and people like Tiny Rob might not get so well. They might not like that at all. No, not going to like the list there at all. Bye-bye.
The Services Podcast with Watko and Tiny Rob.
We are now... are you going to the loo?
No.
This way to the bridge, come on. Here we go, in sort of an echoey chamber.
Oh, it's very echoey.
Echoey, over the bridge. Here we go.
Oh, it is nasty.
Hang on, come on.
God!
We're not even out there yet.
Look at this, the floor it's like literally stone. It's cold, it's dark. This looks like, do you know when they go through, they're on death row and they're led through to the execution cells? It does, look at it, it looks like the bloody Green Mile. Look at these lamps.
It isn't trowel, definitely not trowel. Trowel is now, to us, the Tron-like bridge is amazing. Just come in front, I want to take a picture of this so that...
Oh, goodness me.
So we can sort of give people an impression of what it's like.
Do you want me with the microphone?
Yeah, get the microphone near your face. A little bit closer. Right, oh my goodness, look at, I'm going to take a picture of the lights that have got mesh around them.
It looks like a Young Offenders Institute.
Right, well, we don't know where this is leading. This is leading to the electric chair of the of the southbound carriageway. You can actually hear the traffic.
Isn't it meant to tremble when a lorry goes past?
I don't think it's as bad as that. I think that was a little bit of poetic license from the...
Well, let's try... Oh, hang on. They've now boarded up the window so we can't see if a lorry's going past anymore.
Yeah, I don't think they allow it in the middle for some unknown reason. That's weird. This is the worst service station bridge I've ever been on. It's cold because you can actually see through the bottom.
One thing I will say, that so far that article has been absolutely spot on, hasn't it? It's a horrible bridge. It is a nasty bridge. But it did make it out to be like the Millennium Bridge, like trembling in the wind and that sort of thing. And I can't say...
It's not trembling.
It's not trembling.
But you can definitely hear it, and it's very... Echo! It is echoing.
Oh, God. This is... do you know when they talk about...
Are you scared to go down there? Off you go. Let's walk towards it.
Okay.
You first.
Do you know...
You've twisted things up again now.
Okay. Do you know when they talk about... you know, you see on Most Haunted and stuff, and they walk into a room and they're supposedly meant to be a ghost, and they go, "Oh, I've got a bad feeling about this place." I don't want to walk much further. Imagine if Derek Acora came to this bridge. It's horrible.
Oh my goodness, this bit is like we're going down to like a station platform. I'm getting a picture of this.
It looks like the facility level on 007 GoldenEye on the N64.
I used to love that game.
The Services Podcast is now on Twitter. For the show, follow at The Services Pod, and for the team, follow at Watko and at Tiny Rob. Or you can find them on Facebook by typing in The Services Podcast into the search bar.
It actually looks quite pretty once you get outside.
Well, if you think this is pretty, basically it doesn't couple up to the southbound building. You have to walk outside to get round to the building. And basically we're walking right next to the southbound carriageway. It is quite spooky, isn't it?
It is a little bit creepy. This would be a great place for like a Pulp Fiction kind of horror novel to take place. The service station haunting.
They've got a picnic service area at this side, too. It's
Poorly attended, as always.
Well, obviously, it's like after 9 o'clock at night.
That's true.
It's bigger this side, I think, the picnic area to the northbound side, and we're now walking in to this particular services. People looking at us very strangely. The welcome break gaming area is bigger this side. This is actually a bit more roomy than northbound. Excuse me, can you help us out for just 1 second? Sorry to disturb you. How much is a cup of tea here? Could you just tell us?
$1.99.
$1.99 is a cup of tea. Back in when this service station opened in 1968, it's 5p. What do you think of them apples?
Prices change.
Prices change. You're absolutely right.
That is a truism.
They all go up. Things have changed. Thanks, Nicola. Inflation, she says. Has it gone up since you came working here?
I've only just started.
What do you like about working here?
Everyone's really friendly and it's a really good place to work.
Everybody seems really friendly. They're very kind to us. They're letting us get on with this.
Have you ever seen any famous people?
I haven't really at the moment, no. I've only been here a couple of weeks, so.
Have you heard stories of famous people coming to Woodall? Who's the most famous person who's come to Woodall? Was it Jane Goodall?
Oh, who's been through Woodall? I've forgotten now. There's been quite a few people who have come through Woodall. Ollie Mears has been a regular visitor for different Woodall services, for different welcome break services throughout the country.
Da-da-da-dee-da-da.
That's Rob's impression
I just love Ollie Mears.
Ollie Mears.
What's my impression of Ollie Mears?
Could you do an impression of Ollie Mears? If you no. Okay, fair do, Nick. Sorry to disturb you. Thank you. So £1.99 for a cup of tea. Back in '68, 5p. Things change.
Things change.
Things change.
She was a wise head on young shoulders.
She was nice, though, wasn't she?
She was very friendly, very friendly. Right, where are we going now? We're going back over the bridge?
I think what we've done there is we've just broken the third wall. Isn't it the fourth wall?
It's the fourth wall, yeah.
The fourth wall.
And where we go? Oh God, we have to walk all the way around again, don't we?
Please don't let me go. Mama, please don't let me go.
That's going to echo down to the food hall.
Let me go. I was singing the Ollie Mears.
Maybe you'll come running to us. Maybe Ollie Mears will come out of the welcome break gamblers and have a chat if we sing his song.
People, as we emerge through that tunnel with 2 microphones, would have gone, well, they're either mentally deranged or they're doing a podcast. Now we've just echoed Ollie Mears around the entire building. I think the former has been confirmed.
I think that this has been a successful podcast episode.
Yes. What's the plan now?
We're getting a couple of hot chocolates, aren't we?
Yeah.
You don't mind if we ask you a quick question, do you?
Yeah, you can do.
What's your name, sir?
It's Yanis.
Yannick's.
Yanis.
It's
Greek.
It's Greek. That's awesome, man. So, what we want to know is whether you've seen any famous people whilst working here at Woodall Services in the Starbucks.
I haven't, no.
Have you heard of any famous people coming through?
There's been a couple, but I couldn't tell you names. It's on the south side mainly you get them. Yeah.
Does that make people on the north side a bit jealous?
No, it's fine.
You're missing out on all the celebs?
No, it's fine.
How much, by the way, is a hot chocolate?
Medium ones you've just said are $2.85 each.
$2.85, which I think is pretty good for the service station.
The Services Podcast Turning Wheel Review.
Woodall Services Spinning Wheel Review. What do you reckon?
It's been a game of two halves. It's a tale of two cities. So is Woodall Services.
By the way,
Walked
you've
in.
got hot chocolate all around your mouth.
Has it gone?
It's gone now.
Okay.
Carry on, sorry.
It's a tale of two cities. It's a game of two halves. It's a yin of two yangs. And
Yin of two, yeah. I thought it was yin and yang, and that was it. How many? I didn't realise it was yin, yang, and yang.
it is a real yin, authentic Chinese yin, yang, as they're actually called. You've been desensitised by the Western interpretation of it, but yeah, it's a yin, yang. And there are three little cubicles which make a yin, yang.
Okay, give us your service station spinning wheel review.
And if we had like a graphics team here, and
Yes.
indeed this was like a visual medium, what we could have
Well,
done?
Jon Snow.
Potentially, we could have got that yin, yang, and then flipped up and started spinning it, and then it became one of the spinning wheels. And then the other 7 fell in alongside it, because
Hang
I'm
on.
giving it 8.
Why 8? I'm surprised.
Well, this would potentially be a 9. I just like it. I feel at home here. I feel at ease. We've chatted to a few people, and I would have given it 9. However, that bridge is bloody terrifying. It's gone down to an 8 as a result. But
It is like a zombie apocalypse bridge.
it is, exactly. It's like 28 days later, suspended over the M1. But the rest of it was so nice, and I liked it. So we came in, we had our food, we had a nice little chat. It's been a nice experience, so I'm giving it 8 spinning wheels out of 10. What about you?
I'm going to give it 7 spinning wheels out of 10.
Ooh.
I did a recce here a few months back when we said we were going to do this. Children from Africa,
Rate it, come on.
in the Caribbean. I'm racing it, seven spinning wheels. I really enjoyed it when I first came. I was really impressed with it. I'm impressed with it now. The people were lovely. The bridge is a little bit manky.
Yeah.
We said that we would make our own decision. I think nasty's a bit too harsh, but I think that apocalypse is a much better word, which is a lot. I suppose on the scale of harshness is way up there. So yeah, 7 needs a better bridge.
So in the table, I think we gave Trowel a 7, Leicester Forest East a 7.5. Is that correct?
I would have to look back to see what we did.
Because I think currently the way the scoring system is working is they're all getting 7s, which would perhaps
Well, you gave
suggest.
this 8.
Yeah, but
This would be a 7.5 then, wouldn't it?
so we've now said 2 7s and 7.5.
Maybe
We've
we're
got
the wrong
ones-
people to do this. We just like the service stations too much. We're just too high on them. The next one we're going to be marking harshly. There'll be no more of this pussyfooting around. We are getting medieval on these service stations' bottoms.
I think that's a quote from Pulp Fiction, isn't it?
It is, which I've obviously made a little bit more family friendly.
Yeah.
This is a family friendly podcast.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I like to think people sit down as a family.
And go, we're all sitting around to listen to the service station. But little Jimmy, come in here. Stop playing with your Lego. Stop playing on the Nintendo. They sit all around. Maybe the fire on. Not at the moment because it's too warm for that. And they listen to it. I like to think that. Yeah, okay, maybe it's just for sad people. Thank you for having us, Woodall Services. We'll be back again at some point in the future, no doubt. Hopefully on the southbound carriageway where all of the celebrities normally go.
Da-da-da-dee-da-da.
See you next time, Rob.
Goodbye.
It's time for us to say goodbye from the roadside. The Services Podcast with Ian Watkins and Rob Howard. From Watford Gap to Toddington, Strensham to Woodall, the only service station podcast you need.
It's Ian here, and I don't get what this is. It's Ian Lee. I don't get what this is. You're actually doing this service podcast thing, are you? Because you brought that idea to me as though we were going to do it, and then you're not. And also, I was giving out. It was my idea to give out a phone number on our podcast, if you remember. So the fact that you have done that is just a bit weird, don't you think? So don't get it. Genuinely, I don't get it. It's a bit weird, really, because of, you mentioned the services podcast to me, and I thought we were doing that, and it was my idea to have a phone number. We did it in the important target thing, and I've done that in other podcasts as well. So that's just, that's just stealing. That's plagiarism, and a bit disappointed, really. Gonna go and, be a bit upset about it, I think, to be honest. Bit gutted, really. But as long as you're having a good time, you too, that's fine, That's what it's all about. Just waiting for a plane to take off. There it goes. Anyway, have fun at your service station podcast. Just sitting down on my own, listening to Nina Simone. Yeah, that'll do.